At the end of last month, Australia's largest airline company, Qantas, grounded their entire fleet and locked out its staff due to disputes with trade unions. Director Alan Joyce announced at a conference later on that all domestic employees involved with the dispute would be locked out as of 8 p.m. local time on November 30th, but flights would be grounded immediately. He said the plan is to lock out the employees because of the union's extreme demands, hoping to reach some kind of agreement, adding that this was the fastest way to ensure the airline would get back in the air. Qantas has been butting heads recently with its pilots, ground staff, and engineers over low pay, horrible conditions, and the outsourcing of jobs overseas. As it stands, more than 70,000 passengers have already been affected after months of conflict, which carries a tab of more than $72.5 million as of the end of October. Now, after days of chaos following the shocking decision to ground its entire fleet, service at Qantas has returned to normal. The battle to win back passengers and reach an agreement with the unions, however, has just started. But how do Chinese net users feel about the strikes and Qantas as a whole? In order to get answers, let's go now to the newsroom where our researcher Esther Dung has kept eyes on the discussion. All right, Esther, well, before we start, have net users even been talking about this? I mean, it's not like Australian airlines really have anything to do with China's day-to-day activities.
Oh, well, this is true. Some people think the strike has nothing to do with China, but it actually affects quite a few people here. According to recent reports from Guangzhou Daily, the time from October to January's Spring Festival holiday is a busy season for Chinese tourists, and many choose Australia as a tourist site. So due to this strike, many tourists now need to change their plans, a very inconvenient undertaking. Some experts also pointed out that because of this strike, China Southern Airlines may benefit, since now it will be the first choice for many Chinese tourists after it was announced that all Qantas flights would be grounded.
Okay, Esther, well, what are net users' reactions to this strike?
Well, I have to say, from what I found on the internet, this strike is seen as really weird. For an airline to intentionally inconvenience about 70,000 customers and throw away about $75 million seems for many net users a little hard to understand. This poster from QQ.com says, "How can they just cancel all the flights? It's impossible." And this poster from Cine.com obviously has the same feelings, saying, "This strike has the effect of a bomb. I think it will definitely influence Australian traveling and business. Maybe they need to think about building some high-speed railways." Well, some net users think this strike may not be such a big deal, like this poster 天空下的另一半 saying, "I don't think the strike would be a bad thing. Although it would affect things in the short term, it could ease social pressure to some extent and won't let it build any more than it already has." However, to this poster, Ms. M, this strike doesn't seem like a big deal. To be honest, I don't think it matters if the airline company raises the salary or not this time. The staff will still choose to strike later. They'd never feel satisfied. Finally, the poster 何必当真了 has this opinion. "I have to say, in China, such a thing would never happen. We should protect our own rights. And if we could unite, I think many problems could be solved. But in China, it seems hard to get people united on the same problem."
Well, okay, Esther. Well, so does anybody talk about the reasons why there are strikes in the first place?
Well, of course. Like what I said before, this is not a usual case. And many net users admit for the Qantas director, it is indeed a very hard decision. This poster from Sohu.com also points out that the economic crisis is the main reason, saying, "Since 2008, many big airline companies have had layoffs. But compared with developing countries, the percentage of human resources to Qantas is greater. So when facing more and more serious economic problems, the company would obviously think about cutting the cost of human resources, thinking it would be a better way to solve their problems." While in this poster's mind, the lack of credibility and public relations skills would hurt the airline more. I remember at the end of this August, the Australian airline made an announcement claiming that they would raise the salaries of their senior executives, while at the same time they decided to lay off about 1,000 staff members. I think such a contrast obviously makes the workers feel angry, and to be honest, I don't think the decision made by the director is a good one. After all, such behavior has made a negative impact on the credibility of this enterprise.
Well, hopefully Qantas will be able to get its planes and its reputation off the ground. Thanks very much, Esther. And that was China Take researcher Esther Dong with reaction to the Qantas strikes and how they affect Chinese tourists. Coming up next, China's top searches, what's hot and trending on China's search engines.